configuration in the math class. I think I got that right.
I may need to do some myself.
Hi, everyone. Wow, okay. I'm Jeremy Bloch. I'm an 8th grade math teacher from Brookline, Massachusetts, and I want to talk to you about implementing coding education in math class. So how many people here would feel like I did when they first heard about the idea of teaching students about coding, like, wow, like, I so don't know about computer coding, and I would be not in a position to do that. Okay, well, that's what I felt a year ago. I kind of missed the computer age. A lot of you, just quickly about myself, people keep using the word Exeter because everyone's going, a lot of you guys are going to Exeter and you're doing the Exeter problems and everything. And every time you hear that, I perk up because I went to Exeter too, but I went there when I was 15 years old. And anyone else? There's a student. And it was a long time ago. I'm a little older than I look. And so quick diversion, I actually have a picture of the calculators that we used when I was an undergraduate. Hold off on that. So I'm going to show to you, when I was a 15-year-old. And I want to see if you can identify the make and the model. Okay, hit it. Anyone else use those in high school? Okay. Yay, us. All right, so I missed the computer age, but a year ago, I went to a workshop led by the Bootstrap computer coding folks. And any of you guys know about Bootstrap? Yeah. So Bootstrap is this really awesome program, and you can flip to the next slide, that was developed, I think, 2006 when they first started getting going, but they've been developing and picking up steam all along the way. They basically developed a curriculum that teaches students how to program their own video games, and it's a way to use as a language that's function-based and algebra-based, and it allows students to really build in basic computing thinking and algebraic reasoning, and it's pretty cool. And so, obviously I want you to listen to me, but I also would be cool for you to check out their stream. They're having a part of a big week-long conference, I think in Colorado this week, where they're rolling out some stuff. So go ahead and flip to the next slide, see what's up here. Yeah, it harnesses students' love of video games and uses it to teach not only critical computer coding skills, but key concepts in algebra as well. In addition to learning a full-strength programming language, Bootstrap teaches solid program design skills such as stating input and types, writing test cases, and explaining code to others. Go ahead. So there's two parts to it. The Bootstrap 1 curriculum, which is what I did and kind of reworked a little bit with my students this year, and they build the video game on top of a template, so some of the coding's already there for them. And Bootstrap 2, they learn to code from scratch. Go ahead. They caught the wave of the development of, as you know, about the enthusiasm for computing education that's taking the country by storm. They got a $1.5 million grant from the National Science Foundation. They've been developing curriculum for code.org. And in New York City, there's an $80 million 10-year project to develop computer coding education in the schools. They're one of the key recipients of those funds. Go ahead. So all the coding takes place in the WeScheme environment, which is on the web. So my students work off of Chromebooks. Everything's on the web. Your WeScheme log on is linked to your Google account. So when you go back in, you've got a list of your programs there, and all the work is saved easily. It's very easy for students to work with. So this is where everything takes place. Go ahead. It's all about understanding functions, domain, and range, so it links so beautifully to thinking mathematically, like inputs and outputs, and there's a lot of students can design their own functions and embed functions within functions, and it's awesome. Okay, go ahead. First, you learn about how to take basic mathematical expressions, use a circle evaluation, which is a way to model the order of operations, and then you learn to code it in racket code, which is sort of the foundation for the WeScheme environment. So what did I do with this? Well, first we sort of learned the basic coding. We learned how to get inputs and outputs. We relate that to linear models, and I mess around with that basic stuff, but then where it really gets cool is when you start to program graphic images. So we did something, first we learned how to replicate flags. So I'm going to show you, and let me advance them here just so I can talk about them briefly. These are some of the flags that my students made, and some of them are associated. So basically what they're doing is they're writing the code to copy an actual flag and create a graphic image that copies an actual flag. So these are some of the ones that they've made, and I'll just flip through them fairly quickly. Some of them are associated with the student's heritage. And there's a nice one from one of my students from Israel and Syria together. Flag of China. And, whoops, that's interesting. Has encountered a problem and needs to close. We don't like to see that, do we? So, let's just see if I can get back to that. We don't want that. Okay, look at it here, not there. That.
Lovely.
Yeah, we so don't want to see that either. What is going to pop up next on the screen? Looks embarrassing. So I told you technology was, okay, here we are. So I think I had a link set up here to show you some of the code. But I think for this part, I'll just sort of suffice to say that they look simpler than they are. Sometimes it's deceptively simple to look at the graphic image and think, oh, I could have put that together in some other kind of platform, and that wouldn't be that hard to do. But actually to write the code involves some fairly, I'm worried about taking the risk, but I'm going to show it if I can get that link to pop open. Actually, here's the Greek replica flag. And one of the problems is everything's coming down from the internet, so there's a lot of people online. If I run it, there's a flag. So here's the code that she wrote. Here's Fakir's flags. And here's the code that she wrote. And then this is all of her different flags. And then when I run it, booyah, there they are. So that's pretty cool. And the students are, not understandably like super proud of their work. So flipping back to this, if it comes up, come on, here we go. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. Hey, we're not sure again. Okay, a few more. Now you'll notice this one, Cuba, Burundi, and look at the bottom, Libya, and Elon was reassured me, yes, that solid green rectangle is a flag. And here we've got Nick did a super job with the United States. Seth and Omer were rocking North Korea. And to wrap it up, Maya did an awesome project. Okay, so now I said, okay, well this is working. Why don't I have them do something more personal? That would be their personal flags. That would have something that's representative of their interests. That would include their name. And here's some of the work. This is Doran's flag. And then Elon made this one. Zed made this. This has got some very intense programming going on to get this to work out that way. Angela did this beautiful piece. This is Anthony's. And Maeve. And Dina, friends, Jacob, basketball star, and Crystal, dancer, Ahan, he's a Lakers fan, I guess, and you'll guess which team this guy does not like if you read it carefully. So, of course, I'm in Boston, and, he was new this year, but he was willing to stand up for his fan, stand up for the Giants.
That's excellent.
So this was, he got booed in the slideshow when we showed it to the whole school. Samara, Caitlin, this is a shout out to her summer camp. Beyonce by Isabella. A lot of careful work there to get all the shapes to fit in the right place. Jasmine and the lotus potato. Some nice work here. I've got the code, a link to the code here, but I'm not gonna stop on that. But this was sweet. And Zoe was just off the hook. This is just beautiful. And I've got a little. The next slide is a little QuickTime video I made. If it works right, come on, people. How do we get this to work? Click it. How do you get it to go? There we go. Come on. No, that wasn't it. How do we get it to run? Who knows?
There's a run right there.
Where?
There's a run. It looks like, you see it, but it says run up there.
Yeah.
Is this just part of your slide?
No, it's just, but it's actually a video, but I don't know. It says in this mode, it's not. It's hidden or something. Anyway, this run shows all our code and flips out, shows it coming out. So it's a long stream to get that beautiful piece right here to come together. So that's Zoe's work. And then, okay, so finally, we did the video games. I did the intro to the coding in the first part of the year, then I did the other stuff, the flag project, and then the end of the year we wrapped up with the video games, and everyone did their own video game. And I've got a couple of those, and I think the easiest way to show those is just to go here. Each one has a little write-up, but I'm not going to show that, but we can play it for a minute. So this is about saving the sloths from... You can do it. Everything again has to download, so it's a little slow to come together. I'll just show one of these. How am I doing time? Yeah, okay. So I think what's happening here is that because this downloads from the internet and everyone's on, whatever's Wi-Fi hookup we have here, it's just not going to play that quickly. But if I get one to show, I really would love to show this one. Because this one, you'll see it's special. Any questions? Seriously, any questions? Don't want to score twice. Well, I just basically took time to do this work with students. I was late, but the kind of function-based thinking shows up in lots of different places. So, early in the year when we're doing function tables, we're basically linked here. Yeah. It's just a lot going on. But this has got this great image of me kind of in this pose, kind of the danger in the video game. And they did a great job of getting me to go across the screen and try to capture the student. And in a classroom setting is the background. So every game has got basically the player, the danger, the target, and it's a simple, kind of, and then you move the player around and you basically are trying to capture the target, escape the danger. And students, and I wish I could show these because they're each so creative. Each student picks their images, picks the theme of the game, and of course they have such creative and wonderful minds that everyone is sort of amusing and interesting in its own way. So they're both learning the coding, but they're also finding a way for personal expression. All right, I might be done. Thanks, everyone. So check it out. Bootstrap does offer workshops, often 2-day workshops around the country at different times. The workshop lists are on their website. All right, good.